here it is. The Game Awards, December 9th. Here are some of the nominees. See, do I really want to start right off the bat? So surprisingly enough, these are the ones that have been recognized as Game of the Year. So we got Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. I've only played 2 of what are on this list. I've only played Deathloop and Resident Evil Village. And for the longest time, I've been saying that Resident Evil Village, I'm incredibly excited that it got the nomination. If it doesn't win, I might be a little bit bummed out, but I'm really glad it's at least being recognized as a potential, Game of the Year. That being said, if I had a PS5, I totally would have played through Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I bet the game looks beautiful. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Psychonauts 2, we were supposed to play. We still technically could, but I heard great things about Metroid Dread as well. I'm not a huge 2D platformer player. I never really got into those. I never really got into Metroid, so I never really played it. It Takes Two, you kind of need a friend to play that with, and I was just focused on other games at the time, so I never got around to it. But watching Peachy and Lazy play it and Kelly and Chris play it, it seemed like a lot of fun. It seemed like a nice game. And Deathloop, while Deathloop started out very strong, I feel like it ended not that strong. Obviously for me, I only have like 2 for sure ones that I've played that I can give a good enough review on, but it's got to be Resident Evil Village for me, just because I've yet to play another game that has come close to that. If Guardians of the Galaxy was up here, that would be a very close battle, but I think Resident Evil Village, when it was released, it was polished. You didn't run into a bunch of bugs. I played the mess out of the game. I did a couple speed runs of it. Like, I just wanted to keep playing more. I would probably be still speed running it now if you guys didn't seem incredibly bored by the speed run. But next category. Oh, I totally got my money's worth. Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Once again, the only one that I've played on this is Deathloop. But if we're talking about game direction and design, I feel like from what I've watched of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, it seems like it takes the cake, man. It's a beautiful looking game. So is Returnal, but Returnal's still sort of like a roguelike experience, and those ones always are weird for me when it comes in terms of game direction. So I'm gonna vote for Ratchet & Clank. Best Narrative, you got Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. Bro, dude, I don't know. Like, best narrative though, Deathloop, I don't know if I would have given the game best narrative, but dude, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is just chef's kiss. Almost everything you want out of a superhero story. Even if they, like, I'm trying to like take the Marvel out of it as just brand new characters you've never seen before. Everyone gets a moment in this game. It's mainly through the eyes of Star-Lord, but they pulled it off somehow on being able to give every single character just a really good arc within the game. So I'm gonna do Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Best Art Direction, The Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. For outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Now from what I've seen, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, there's like a bunch of people that used to work at Pixar or something like that, and they started Ember Lab, and they made this video game. So you really get like a Pixar sort of polished feel when you watch people play this game. I did watch a playthrough of it. I thought the game was absolutely beautiful. It probably looks 10 times better on a PS5, like in front of me on a monitor, but through someone else's stream, looked really good. Once again, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart has so much going on with it that the playthroughs that I watched, I never saw any of the game like lag or like huge frame drops or anything from people playing it on their PS5s. Like, the amount of stuff that's on screen and they were able to like consistently keep the frame rate high, I think should get my vote. Best score in music: The Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Nier Replicant. Now, I don't know anything about The Artful Escape. Yeah, but Cyberpunk's music's just so good because like people have been putting out like cyberpunk music, you know, but for a game it's like, and this is like, it's good music, don't get me wrong. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the score that apparently Richard Jacques composed is great. It fits the video game really well. I'm trying to even remember some of the music from Deathloop. I don't know. Cyberpunk gets it for me, man. Best audio design: Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal. Dude, I see, for me, when it comes to audio design, if a horror game is on this, I feel like it should automatically get the vote, because I feel like the audio design is so much more important in immersing you in a horror game than almost any other genre. For me, personally, that's what I feel. While Forza Horizon probably needs some really good audio design as well, because of all the different environments you're in, all the different cars, it's got to be insane. I think one of the best things about Resident Evil Village is the audio in the game. Like, it works really well. So I'm gonna vote Resident Evil Village. Best performance: awarded to individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or capture performance. Erica Mori as Alex Chen from Life is Strange. Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo, Far Cry 6. Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn from Deathloop. Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. And Ozioma Akaga as Juliana Blake, Deathloop. Dude, this is difficult because I think what made Far Cry 6 as great as it was because of Giancarlo. And I kept saying that every time there was a cutscene with him, I was like, this game is great. Every scene he is in is phenomenal. But watching behind the scenes of what Maggie Robertson had to go through, I think it's very cool. Jason Kelly in Deathloop was really great as well. I kind of like the banter between him and Juliana, but he was barely there. Technically speaking, Lady Dimitrescu is barely there. Lady Dimitrescu probably had as much screen time in the game as Anton Castillo, if we really think about it, because she's only one of the main 4 people you fight. While her performance is great, I'm not undermining that at all. The main reason I was going into playing Far Cry 6 was to watch his performance, and he plays a villain tremendously. Best ongoing: awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Apex Legends, Final Fantasy Online, Fortnite, Genshin Impact, and Call of Duty Warzone. Well, considering this year I didn't play any Genshin, I didn't play any Fortnite, and I didn't play any Final Fantasy, between Apex and Warzone, right? Warzone's development, like ongoing content that evolves player experience over time, it's like, while it is an ongoing game or whatever, I don't know. The thing is I try to stay up with what Fortnite is doing because it's so huge in the, you know, gamer space or whatever. I just haven't played it in a while, but I always feel like Fortnite should get the credit it does for ongoing content and how they listen to their fan base. I feel like there's more that goes on in Fortnite than there is that goes on in Apex. While I do think Apex is really great, I'm gonna give it to Fortnite. Best indie: for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Inscription, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, and Loop Hero. You know, I wanted to play Loop Hero if it's the one I'm thinking it is, but I never got around to it. Babe. I heard Inscription was cool. Inscription's sort of like card-based game. Death's Door, I think, just released for PS5 like today or yesterday. I didn't realize that Kenna was an indie game. Wow. My wife is my sister. Great clip, by the way. I think 12 minutes was done very well. I would not want to be on the team writing the narrative for that, because you know how many different paths you can go down? Although Kenna Bridge of Spirits, I don't know much about the story. I don't think the story was all there. It's a great like action platformer, 3D platformer game. It looks beautiful. Like for an indie developer to pull off a game that looks that good should be applauded. But for overall experience, I think 12 minutes was great. I mean, plus you got Willem Dafoe, Daisy Ridley, right? And James McAvoy. There we go. Best community sport. Oh, support. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. Dude, I'm telling you, every time I hear this, the only game that I can think of right away is Fortnite. Mainly, I don't know, the responsiveness always seems really quick. I kind of think the same way with Apex as well. Destiny 2, heck no. I don't even know why they're nominated. Like they messed up the game so much. In terms of transparency and responsiveness, bro, there was none of that within this past year. The main reason I stopped playing it just because, I don't know, it just got super more grindy. I mean, they just put Naruto in the game. They do really good with that stuff. I know, it's like, it's the ultimate pop culture game. It's kind of insane. And that was going to be my next point, Toaster, was that Apex is good at what they do, but slower than Fortnite. And No Man's Sky, they've been getting updates. I knew they had that huge overhaul, but they're constantly updating it. I don't know. I'm going to vote for Fortnite again. Best action game. For the best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat, Back 4 Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal. Did the Battle Royale come out in 2017, or did the Save the World come out in 2017? But yeah, regardless, it still being one of the top games, going on, kudos to them, honestly. As much as people meme on it, I don't know. Best action game, though. The only ones I didn't play on this was Chivalry 2 and Returnal. Returnal's gameplay seemed pretty cool, but then again, it's a roguelike and whatnot. For focus primarily on combat, like Far Cry 6 is fun, but it's Far Cry. Like there's not a huge level of depth to Far Cry. You run around, shoot things, explode things. Like, sure, there's some cool weapons or whatever, but it's not anything groundbreaking. Back 4 Blood, again, sort of on the same page as Far Cry. You run around and shoot zombies. I don't think there's anything like too crazy about it. Deathloop, on the other hand, like there's so many different ways you can go about completing your objective, and there's so many different abilities and weapons, and I think that's what makes it, for me, the best action game of this year. So I'm gonna vote Deathloop. Best action adventure. For the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, Marty's. Gosh, where did I get Marty's? Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Okay. So see, for me, I don't think I really want Resident Evil Village to win Game of the Year. I really, really do. But I kind of want to vote for it as well, just in case it doesn't. I want it to win some sort of an award. But then again, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy it's still such a good experience. I think when it comes to puzzle solving, definitely Resident Evil Village has a little bit more with the puzzle solving, and that's what makes Resident Evil games great. Combat with traversal and stuff like that, I think Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy definitely does that a lot better as well. And I'm only going between these two because these are the only two that I've played on this list. But I'm still going to vote for Village just for the sake of wanting it to still win an award if it doesn't win Game of the Year. Best role-playing. For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Why the heck is Cyberpunk on here then? Cyberpunk 2077, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Tales of Arise. For how much hate Cyberpunk gets, I still think it's a great role-playing game. If they would have released it maybe 2-3 years from now, it would have been in pristine condition and probably would have got a lot more praise than it did hate. But that's the thing, I didn't have any issues with Cyberpunk either, because I mean, I had maybe 3 bugs I could think of when playing it, but I also started out on a 1060, which didn't help graphics wise, but when I moved to the 3060, so much better, and I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, nothing game breaking. Like, the only thing that I ran into is I sometimes couldn't pick up certain items that I wanted to, but none of them were like crucial to the story for me to pick up, which was good. And sometimes a mission would not complete or move to the next objective. I would just be stuck in a certain spot, so I'd have to restart from the previous checkpoint. But I don't know any of these. I mean, I know of them. I'll give it a Cyberpunk. Oh, best multiplayer. For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of the game genre or platform. Back 4 Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim. Good to see Valheim getting a nomination though. Like, Valheim like took over the world before New World came out, and I'm surprised to see it in some nominations. I never played it, but good for them. Dude, there's something about Knockout City that was just so like instant fun for me to play. Like, I expected to play it as a joke. It's like, oh, it's dodgeball. But man, did I have so much fun in Knockout City. I just don't really have anyone to play it with, and I'm not going to play it by myself. But New World, I technically never played it multiplayer. Everything I feel like I've done so far, I've done solo, because my character is not high enough leveled to do the dungeons and things like that. So I technically haven't been given the full New World experience. Back 4 Blood is usually always good when it comes to multiplayer, when it comes to co-op. But I'm actually going to give it to Knockout City. Content Creator of the Year. Dream, Fussly, Galls, Ibai, and Gref. Dude, the only person I know is Dream. I have never heard of any of these other people. I know, they didn't even mention my name. Like, what's happening here? I don't know if that's like... I feel like I usually keep up to date with like things that are going on different platforms with content creators and stuff. I'm not gonna vote for anyone because I don't even watch Dream. Like, I know of Dream, I know of his like controversy with the Minecraft scandal or whatever, but pass. Most anticipated game. Recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Starfield. Dude, 3 of these are on my hype list, bro. Like, okay, Elden Ring looks good, don't get me wrong, and I think it's gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna have a great time playing it. But it's a From Software game. Like, I kind of know, for the most part, what I'm gonna get out of it, I guess. So, like, I am anticipated to play it, but I don't know if it's really pushing the gaming medium forward. Whereas we have God of War Ragnarok, who won Game of the Year and like Best Narrative and all those things. Like, I don't know if I've ever been more excited for a sequel to a video game than I have God of War Ragnarok. Horizon Forbidden West also looks absolutely incredible, but I gotta give it to God of War. Best esports game. For the game that has delivered the best overall esports experience to players, inclusive of tournaments, community support, and content updates, irrespective of genre or platform. Call of Duty, CSGO, Dota 2, League of Legends, and Valorant. I didn't watch a whole lot of Call of Duty Esports this year. CSGO has been like the same it's been for who knows how many years now. Dota and League, don't understand them. I feel like it takes too much time for me to try to understand them. But Valorant as an esport is a lot of fun to watch. Like the first 2 games I get on to play, I have a great time playing it. And then I get triggered and realize how bad I am at the game, or I don't like the gunplay. But watching the esports, I think out of everything on this list that I've watched, the most is Valorant, surprisingly. So I'm gonna vote Valorant. Let's view the categories again. Game of the Year nominees are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. I don't see one being overfavored from the other. Like there's sometimes Game of the Year nominees come out and you see them and you're like, it's a done deal. That one has to win. Like I don't see anything else beating that. But this one, there are so many that could win this. I think they're all pretty good contenders. But me personally, I really want to see Resident Evil Village win. And I'm hoping on this night, like, because they sometimes do, you know, game reveals as well on this night. I'm hoping this night, even if they win or lose, they're going to announce DLC for this game. I'm crossing my fingers that we get some DLC for Resident Evil Village. Because they gave it to Resident Evil 7. I don't remember when they announced it, but they gave it to Resident Evil 7. And I've just been waiting the rest of the year so far for more Resident Evil. Well, there we go. For the ones that we played and the ones that we, I guess, care about the most, or that, you know, I've dealt with this year. Almost only half of them, though. 16 out of 30. That's okay. All right. Well, very cool. I'm glad we were able to get through that.